Hey everyone, today there is a new moon in Cancer, and this new moon is forming an interesting alignment involving multiple planets, but specifically forming a YOD to Pluto with Mars. So I want to unpack that a little bit today and share what that is about. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Wednesday, June 25th. And the new moon in Cancer is exact at 3:31 a.m. at 4 degrees Cancer, and that's 3:31 a.m. Pacific time. So 4 degrees Cancer at 3:31 a.m. Pacific. And that 4-degree Cancer, so the new moon, by definition, is when the moon and the sun come together. They merge, they create this seed point where their energies come together and something new is fertilized or planted or begun, right? So we have that beginning moment, that opportunity to set our intentions for the future. And this is a really important time to set positive intentions, whether you do that through prayer or positive affirmations or feeling into positive possibilities, if that is your thing. So we have this seed point, and the Cancer energy brings in the energy of feelings and emotions, as I was talking about yesterday and the day before, as I've been talking about this new moon coming up. And that Cancer energy is also squaring, well, it's conjunct Jupiter. So Jupiter brings expansion. So feelings are big, okay? So abundance of feelings. Feelings feel really big. Things feel exaggerated right now. And also the sun, the moon, and Jupiter all squaring both Saturn and Neptune. So that feeling that we might be defeated, or the feeling that what we've been trying to work on or put in motion is being thwarted somehow, that there is. So that's the point in the cycle. The waxing square, which is what is all of these planets are, three planets forming three waxing squares to two outer planets, Saturn and Neptune. So what is that? Six waxing squares involving five planets. So okay, so there's a lot of this energy. And a waxing square is the point where you've put something in motion. You've been working on it. You've been trying. You've been making choices along the way. You've been envisioning the future of what you want to create. And that waxing square comes along and it says, yes, that's great. You're doing the right things. But guess what? It's not going to work until something deeper actually shifts. And so it is the point in the cycle where we need to make a decision, where we need to steer, where we need to shift our consciousness to become who we need to become in order to create what we envision for the future. So it's nice, right, to envision the future and the things we want and desire and all of that. But when it comes to that moment, when it's like, okay, are you really willing to let go of the old habits and patterns and comforts of the past? Are you really willing to change? Are you really willing to become who you need to become to be the person who has those things? So that's true on an individual level. And of course, these energies are showing up in intense ways in the outer world, in the collective, in what is unfolding in the world around us. So you can think of this both at a personal level and also at a collective level. What is needed to shift in order to create things the way we want them to be? And so where do you need to shift, right? So in your own personal life, What kind of choices do you need to make? Where do you need to change? Where do you need to be willing to become the person you need to be the person who has the things you want to have? And so this is a new moon also. And this new moon is planting that seed of the future at the same time. We have a triple conjunction of Jupiter, Sun, and Moon. And that conjunction is planting a seed. So setting intentions, stating what you want, and getting clear about what is important to you about the future and why is all part of this. And then something related to Neptune is needing to shift, something related to dreams, hopes, imagination for the future. Where do you need to imagine the kind of future you want to have? Where do you need to be able to dream that dream? Where do you need to connect with that bigger picture of your heart's desires, your heart's truth, your heart's wisdom? And Saturn, where do you need to build that in in your life? What do you need to tangibly do to create the foundations to build that dream, to bring it into reality, to make it something tangible and lasting, and also to be present with what is being released, what is the form or the structure or the system that is no longer going to be with you in that future. So choices and decisions need to be made about how you are going to become who you need to become to be part of that future that you imagine, the future of your dreams, the future that your heart wants. What is that about? And the energy of Cancer, right, is about caring. And so, what kind of caring are you going to do for yourself? For example, what kind of caring are you going to do for yourself because you imagine that kind of caring and you want that kind of caring for humanity or for people who are experiencing suffering? How are you going to be that model of learning how to work with the energy of caring in your life? How can you be a caring person? How can you invest in caring in your community, in your family? What does that look like for you? So those kinds of questions. And then I talked about this YOD. Okay, so not only all of that is going on that I just talked about, the squares between Sun, Moon, and Jupiter, and Neptune and Saturn. And then we also have a sextile between Sun, Moon, and Jupiter to Mars. Mars, the warrior planet. Mars, the planet of action and courage. And this sextile, both both ends of that sextile, Sun and Moon, in a sextile to Mars, with Jupiter over there by the Sun and Moon, forming a YOD to Pluto. Pluto is about depth and power and transformation that goes so deep. It goes to the truth. It goes to that deeper unconscious place of where are our unconscious possibilities for, emotional reactivity and so on, and show, action and Mars and aggression. So themes of what is going on in the world, and they are pushing us into looking deeper at our own patterns, at our own truths, at how we are being in the world, how we are supporting the things that are not in alignment with our heart's truth. How are we unconsciously investing in or contributing to, with where you shop, right? Or something that you just have taken for granted in your life because it makes life more convenient. Where do you need to transform that? One of the ways we've been talking about in my family is plastic. And so, how is plastic a problem? And, we could do a whole thing on that, but, right. But there's one example of something that makes our lives more convenient. It's everywhere. We can't get rid of it. It's easy to ignore it because it's ubiquitous. It's such a big problem, etc. But Pluto is asking us to go deeper, to really look at some of these patterns, how we are contributing to them, how we can change our own lives to be less of part of the problem and more of part of the solution. So it's not about perfection. It's not about, never using plastic, which would be nice. I mean, I personally would prefer that, but right, it's like, what can you do? How can you take those positive steps in the positive direction? And, if plastic isn't your thing, just it's a metaphor, right? It's symbolic of whatever it is that is a problem that you may not even realize or think about how you are participating in it, or how living your life keeps that problem in place, and how tiny little changes you might think about doing over time, which again, you do not have to do it overnight and you do not have to be perfect, but it is moving in the direction of what will help to heal and shift and make things more sustainable, or more in accordance with your dream, your vision, what you imagine for the positive and healing and sustainable paths forward for the world, but also for your own life. What does it look like for your future? What matters most to you? So, lots of things to think about on this Cancer new moon. Take time to do something nice for yourself, because guess what? That is the first step. And if you want to live in a caring world, you have to care for yourself. So, that is important. Take that first step, do what you can do, not what you feel like you should do, and recognize that this is a long journey. There's always tomorrow. You can always correct what you did today by doing something different tomorrow. You can always keep going and building on what you little baby step you put in place, and keep going from there. So this new moon in Cancer feels like an important moment and an important decision and choice point. And so take it seriously. You don't have to believe in what I believe in. You don't have to agree. But the point is, think about what's important to you, what matters to you, and what the next step looks like for you, based on how you want to how you want the world to look, and how you want to be in that world, and what you can do in your life to affirm that, to continue to feed those seeds of your positive intentions for the future. So lots of kindness and caring and nurturing. That's what helps things grow, right? All right. Thanks for being here. I'm Marina Orms. You can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com and join my member program. In the description for this video, it says join Astrology Heals. I would love to see you there. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing to this YouTube channel, and I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.